Here at Washington Fruit, we use a lot of computers to serve our customers. That's why it's critical to protect our computers and our sensitive data from online criminals and other problems that could result in customers not getting their fruit on time with the quality we're known for. Here's what happened to another ag company who had the kind of cybersecurity problems we want to avoid. In June 2020, this ag company was shut down by a computer virus called Sodinokibi. It's one of hundreds of types of ransomware that infects computers through a variety of methods. For example, it can be installed when someone clicks on a link in a phishing email, or when a computer account gets stolen and then used by a criminal to infect a computer. Ransomware can also appear inside an infected advertisement that's displayed in your web browser. Once it was activated, Sodinokibi encrypted all the ag company's computers and data. This brought them to a complete standstill for weeks. The criminal group behind the ransomware not only demanded millions of dollars for all the decryption keys, it publicly auctioned off the company's sensitive payroll and other data to the highest bidder. Everyone who worked with this company suffered the consequences. That's why we need your help to keep our systems free of viruses, account takeovers, data breaches, and other cybersecurity problems. To be successful, we all have to work together. It can't just be the job of the IT department. Let me tell you why. Over 80% of all cybersecurity incidents on the job happen because we computer users do something we shouldn't. Sometimes it's because we take a shortcut, and sometimes it's because someone else tricked us with a phishing email. Whatever the reason, each one of us has a role to play. And remember, these types of computer incidents can happen both at work and at home. What we want you to do is protect all our critical digital assets. On the screen, you can see a list of what's at risk every day. Now let's take a look at the common situations you'll face, along with the ways we want you to handle them. Let's start with malicious software, also called malware. There are different types of malware. Viruses and worms spread copies of themselves within and between computers. This malware often hides inside an ordinary-looking program that you download from the internet, or inside a file attached to an email. Malware actively uses your computer and internet connection to infect other systems. Viruses and worms slow down your computer or even try to delete your files. A remote access Trojan, or RAT, is another type of malware. Once downloaded and activated, this malware allows the attacker full access to the computer. Attackers will look at your files, watch what's on your screen, listen through your microphone, and see what's going on through your webcam. All this information is sent back to the attacker so they can spend some time figuring out how to steal from us. Ransomware stops you from using your programs and data by encrypting them. Then the criminals demand money in Bitcoin before they restore your files. But it's dangerous and often illegal to pay ransom to get your data back. Plus, there's no guarantee the criminals will give you back your data even if you do pay. The best bet is to back up our data and avoid ransomware. Here are some tips to help you avoid all kinds of malicious code. Before downloading a program from the internet, make sure you trust the website or use the official app store. Have an up-to-date antivirus program installed. Regularly back up your computer files, and make sure your data backup is disconnected from your computer. Now let's review some ways that you can know that your computer has a virus. Here are some common signs that your computer has been compromised by malware. It's important to know that these symptoms don't always mean malware, and sometimes malware is completely silent. But if you suspect your computer is compromised, notify IT right away. Now let's talk about passwords. First of all, keep your passwords secret. Your password can be the only thing protecting your account from being taken over by a cybercriminal. And if that happens, It could look like you're cyber attacking the company. So protect your password. Let's quickly review our company policy on passwords. Don't use your computer account name as part of your password. Use at least 8 characters, but 12 is much better. Use both upper and lowercase letters, at least one number, and at least one special character. It's best if you start with 2 simple words and then add steps 3, 4, and 5. Look at the example on the screen. Now let me show you some example passwords and you figure out whether or not they're acceptable. Does this password meet our policy? No, it doesn't. It's long enough, but it's missing a special character. How about this one? Does this password meet our policy? No. Why? Because there are only 7 characters and there's no number. How about this one? Yeah, this one's okay because it's following all the rules. It doesn't have the name of the computer account. It has 13 characters, although all you need is 8. It has both upper and lower case letters. There's a number, and it has one special character. Let's take a look at a different situation. Justin wants to use the same password he uses for his personal online banking. Since it's a really secure password, it shouldn't conflict with any company policies, right? But actually, this is not acceptable. Never use a personal password for any company-related system. This is because it's much easier for a cybercriminal to steal passwords from ordinary websites and then use them to break into computers belonging to companies like ours. As I mentioned in the beginning of this training, social engineering is when someone convinces you to do something you shouldn't. It often works because the attacker is manipulating your emotions, as well as everyone's natural desire to help people. Now let's talk about 3 common types of social engineering: phishing, vishing, and how some people use social engineering to gain physical access to our buildings. Phishing is when an attacker manipulates you through email to get sensitive information. They do this by pretending to be someone you trust. Here's an example phishing email. The brown text you see on the screen are comments that we added, and they're not part of the example. But let's see what's going on here. First of all, phishing emails usually feel urgent when you first read them. Even if they don't say the word urgent, the entire message is designed to make you feel that you should be doing what it says immediately. To increase the sense of urgency, a phishing message will sometimes appear to be coming from your boss, the CEO, or another person in charge. And it will tell you what to do in the hope that you won't think too much about whether the message is real. Now, the ultimate goal of this message is to trick the person who got it into buying hundreds of dollars in gift cards that will then be given to the attacker. Cybercriminals like gift cards because they're easy to buy and easy to share online. Each gift card is just a set of numbers that can be typed into any email or text message, and they're untraceable and can be used by anyone, anywhere in the world. Here are some tips to help you avoid getting phished. Don't click on links, open attachments, or fill out forms in suspicious emails. Instead, use a trusted directory to respond to the message. That will help you know if it's legit. Be sure to hover over a link before you click on it. Make sure the website that you're going to is using HTTPS, that it's spelled correctly, and that it is the company's website. Don't open email attachments that you didn't expect to receive. And don't use your company email address to create an online account somewhere else. The bottom line is this: if you feel a sudden rush of emotion when you first read an official-looking email, stop. Look away from your screen and count slowly to 3. Then look again at the message and make sure it's legitimate. Always involve your supervisor if you have any doubts. Now, the telephone version of phishing can be hard to identify. The goal of the caller is usually to trick you into providing sensitive information. So never give your personal or the company's sensitive information to someone who calls you. Instead, call them back using a phone number from a trusted directory. Be sure to ask your supervisor if you're still not sure. Physical breaches happen when attackers pose as computer repairmen, express package delivery people, or even company employees. They're trying to gain access to our critical information by physically entering our buildings. When a new person shows up with an unusual story, take the time to verify what they're saying to you, and be sure to ask your supervisor if you have any doubts or if you need any help. To keep our digital assets safe, there are a few other physical cybersecurity things we need you to do. Like keep a clean workspace to avoid losing track of important data, and always securely dispose of customer or sensitive business data. Your supervisor will help you to know what assets you need to protect and how to securely dispose of them. Be sure to lock your computer when you step away, even if it's just for a few minutes. And don't use your personal devices like your own iPhone to access our critical information. Don't leave your laptops, tablets, and mobile phones visible in your vehicle, even if you lock the doors. And never leave them in there overnight. And don't walk away from them when you're in a public place. One last thing. Only use USB sticks or thumb drives with approval from IT, and never use one you find laying on the ground or anywhere else. If you have any questions about any of the topics we've covered, talk to your supervisor or contact somebody on the IT team. And thank you for doing your part to keep our computers safe.